Tails just let out his alert, and I saw the shadow of an aerial predator going over. I looked up, there was this big crow. It was cold this morning, about 25 degrees when I was out doing chores. Not so good news for the trees. If you remember yesterday when I got them here, they all still had leaves on them. At first glance, I thought, wow, they just dropped their leaves that fast overnight? Upon closer inspection, I saw this. A lot of the branches have edges like this, which is evidence that the deer got to these trees, ate all the leaves off, and took some of the branches with it. Man. They did take some of the seaberry leaves off, but for the most part they left them intact, and that's probably because the seaberries are kind of spiky. Completely forgot about the deer pressure here. With the garden fence that we've had up this summer, it's worked so well and we haven't had any issues with the deer that the deer haven't really been on my mind. And I just completely forgot about it. I should have put the trees within the garden area so the fence could have protected them. The chickens have already been out this morning, but there was just a hawk overhead and Tails signaled them to go back in the tractor, so they all went running in there. I'm gonna take advantage of this opportunity to shut the tractor door, keep them in there, and rotate them to a new paddock right now. Wow, Tails just let out his alert and I saw the shadow of an aerial predator going over. I looked up, there was this big crow. He came swooping down and just grabbed something out of the field. I don't know what it was. I hope it was a gopher. There's one big reason that having a rooster around causes problems sometimes, and that's the early wake-up call. But that really gets outweighed by the positive benefits of having him here. Right now, the biggest benefit of having Tails here is the protection he's providing. He constantly scans the sky for predators, and of course, if anything were to come in on the ground, he would attack it and fight it to the death. And he's demonstrated his willingness to protect the girls when he perceived Ashley to be a threat. Just today, I've seen him do it twice where he's called the chickens into the tractor when he's seen aerial predators. I attribute the fact that we haven't lost any of the birds yet while we've had them on the property to Tails' attention to detail with that. Another reason why we decided to have a rooster is for fertilized eggs. We're not in a position to incubate any eggs and the hens aren't broody or anything like that. But next year we'll probably be hatching some of our own chicks. And you kind of need a rooster in order to do that. The rooster actually will find food for the hens. There's been numerous occasions where I've thrown a grasshopper in there or different bits of food, or Tails just finds something on his own. He makes a very distinct throaty chirpy noise which signals the hens that food is there, and they all come running to see what he has, and he stands back and lets them eat. That's much more beneficial in a free-range system where the chickens are on large expanses of land. In this little paddock, not necessarily that big of a deal, but why not? The last major reason to have a rooster is that it brings a balance to the flock. When a flock is without a rooster, there is usually an alpha hen that kind of takes over, and I know which one in here it would be. But having the rooster there brings balance to the hens. There's harmony within the flock. There's a more natural flow. Protection, egg fertilization, flock harmony, food gathering, all that in one animal for just a little bit of feed. I say that's a good deal. I'm gonna get their mineral feeder fixed back on here so these guys can get some additional nutrition. Last time I just used a screw by itself. It just ripped right off the screw. So per viewer Gene O'Connor, I'm adding a washer to the screw. My minerals consist of kelp, diatomaceous earth, and some Redmond's trace mineral salt. The kelp to DE ratio is 4:1, and that's not precisely measured, I just kind of eyeballed it, but that's for palatability purposes. The sheep just won't eat straight diatomaceous earth. It's just not palatable. When it's mixed with the kelp, they'll get it in that way. Though the deer have already done their damage to these apple trees, I'm still going to get them and the sea berries into the fenced-in garden area.